I think we have located Alistair Overeem. Is he around? Is he alive? Is he on the phone? Alistair, are you there?
Yeah.
There he is.
Hello,
You're making me.
The lost child has been found.
Where have you been? Where did you go?
Oh yeah, I alarm clicked it away quick because I was right in the middle of something.
Oh. Okay. Well, it's good to have you. It's good to see you.
How have you been?
It's good to speak to you, I should say. I was expecting to see you on the Skype. You promised me Skype. I was going to see your face, and now you're not there.
Yeah, my connection is not so good where I'm at. I have 2 out of 5 stars. And, yeah, we can try Skype if you want.
No, it's okay. I'm just happy that you're on. I'm happy we found you. I was getting a little worried. So,
listen, I don't turn out my good friends like some other people do.
What are you implying?
Just joking.
Okay, so here we are, Alistair. We are a little over, just 33 days away, I believe, from your big UFC title fight finally going down. You versus Stipe Miocic, Cleveland, Ohio, UFC 203. Let me ask you first. You had to do a media day with him on the day of the Cleveland Cavaliers parade, right? You were there that day, weren't you?
Yeah, I was there that day. It was insanity. There was like 1.5 million people in downtown Cleveland. It was crazy. It was great to be there. Enthusiastic fans, drunk people in the street. There actually was 3 shootings within 1 block.
What?
I didn't see any of it, but yeah, there were 3 shootings.
Whoa.
It was madness. Madness.
Did you feel like you were sort of being overshadowed? Like here you are doing this media day and everyone, understandably so, is talking about the Cavs. Like, do you kind of wish it was a few days later, or did you not mind?
No, it was a very nice to experience that. I mean, it's a city party. City parties are always crazy. It's always hectic. I was actually happy I was able to experience it.
Did you go to the parade?
No. I just did my my appearances. And, other than that, I've been very focused on training. So I'm not celebrating anything. I walked around through the city a little bit to grab something to eat. But other than that, I've been very focused on training the last months, actually, the last period, since my last fight, and before even last 2.5 years, if I go back to it. So there's not much celebration. There's not much looking around, partying. It's just work ethic.
Now, okay, so you were with him for the day. I'm assuming not. He's a kind of quiet guy, but what was it like just behind the scenes? What was the tension like? Was it okay? Were there any incidents? What can you tell us?
0 incidents. We were not together that much. To be honest, I think Stipe is a cool guy. I mean, we didn't really talk that much, right? We're going to compete against each other, and it's strictly business. But, I mean, on the other side, he's riding on a real high, He's the hero of Cleveland. He's celebrating it. He got married. He's doing the Vegas thing. He's partying. But, I got one message that the wolf that is hungry is going to run a little bit faster than the wolf that is chilling on top of the mountain who has his belly full. And that's a little bit what I'm seeing here. He's enjoying the life. He's enjoying the high. But I've been working. After Arlovski, I went straight back in the gym, and I'm just working for that date, which is coming up September 10th.
That is very good insight. So you've been sort of noticing from afar that he's going through the parades, he's being serenaded, honeymoon, all that stuff, and in the meantime, you're in the gym. So that gives you motivation. Yep. Like, do you kind of view that like, oh, I am here working while he's partying?
It definitely gives me confidence, and it definitely builds. It builds me up. I'm putting in the extra work, and you need to do that as a champion. And I'm doing it.
Wow. And how do you feel about fighting in his hometown? Do you think it's going to be hostile? What do you think it's going to be like?
I'm actually very excited about that. Obviously, the whole arena, 99% of the arena will be rooting for Stipe, but. It is what it is. And, when I got my hands raised, I mean, I have my fans all over the world, but that moment, the crowd will be a little bit quiet after I raise my hands. I'm looking forward to that moment.
You mentioned going back to the gym, training right away after the Arlovski fight. That one was a little strange because you were fighting a teammate. What's it been been like coming back to Albuquerque and being with Arlovski and the rest of the coaches and all that?
Well, it's been actually very good. Good to be back in the gym. I kind of did my trainings at different times, different locations. I would come in at Jackson's late in the evening when no one was around. So now it's good to be back in the team, back in the vibe. I miss the team. It's all good people there. With Arlovski, it's a little bit quiet. He's kind of like ignoring me a little bit, not looking at me, not saying anything. But I take that as a good sign.
Why a good sign?
Yeah, and the coaches are just chill as always. I mean, we had spoken out that we would continue where we left off after the Arlovski fight, and we're doing that just now, and it's just positive vibes.
And so you didn't have any conversations with Andrei, like sit down, away from everyone, behind the scenes, privately, and just sort of clear everything?
No, I suggested that, but he didn't. He didn't want that. So, and I respect his feelings. It's all good.
Are you bummed out by that you can't just move on from the whole thing?
Oh, but I am. I have moved on.
Okay.
I mean, I'm focused now on the next fight, and if he doesn't want to talk or doesn't want to train, that's okay by me. I mean, I'm not reliant on him. My career is not reliant on him. Before we had fought, we hardly trained together, so it's not a big thing to me.
Would he have been someone who would have helped you train for Stipe because he's fought him, has a similar fighting style? Like, is it unfortunate that you can't use him as a sparring partner?
No, not really. Not
Okay.
really. Like for the JDS fight, we moved around a little bit. We understand this. I've been training at Jackson's now over 2 years.
Yeah.
And all we did was we did like maybe 4 rounds sparring.
Oh wow! In that entire
2 years
time.
ago, and then we moved around maybe 2 rounds.
Okay.
That's it. So he might be part of Jackson's, but he's not Team Overeem. And of course, after the May 8th, UFC Rotterdam, of course he's going to dislike me even more. And, if you look at all the media stuff, he had a problem with me before that. But I don't necessarily have a problem with him, but it's all good. Good. It's you don't have to get along. I don't have to get along with anybody. If it's there, if the chemistry is there, if the flow is there, fine. If it's not there, also fine.
See, I'm so sensitive that I would feel the tension and it would bother me and I would try to seek it and squash it. You're able to just block that out.
Yeah, of course.
That's commendable.
Listen, Ariel.
Yes.
You're in the limelight. I'm in the limelight. I'm a little bit in the limelight, I think, but you have your exposure. You're like on the media every day, this and that. There's people that dislike you. They're gonna say hateful things. They're gonna, have attitude. You have to have the ability to not get bothered by that. Otherwise, you're in the wrong business. You got to quit your job. You got to do something different.
Yeah, you're right.
And I kind of like what I'm doing. You like what you're doing?
Yeah, for the most part. But you're right. That's great advice.
So you're able to put it in a box, in the I don't care box. My box is pretty big. I don't care. You just put it in there, and you focus on the good stuff in life, man. There's a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of good people. There's a lot of positivity. You have your family, kids, right? You're a dad yourself.
Yeah.
Focus on that, and you get it back. And if you, the thing too with negative people is, if you're gonna focus on it, if you're gonna acknowledge it, engage it, it becomes more. So to me, the best way to deal with it is just ignore it. Just let it be.
Man, this is words of wisdom here.
Some life lessons, some real life lessons.
I like it. This is great. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Alistair. What about the coaches? Who will be in your corner for this fight? Do you know?
I've not decided that yet, but we're working on it.
You working again with Greg and Wink and those guys?
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
of course.
okay.
Work with all the coaches at the gym, and we have great chemistry. We're working hard. Very happy to be able to say that the training camp is going excellent.
And what about coming off that high in May in your home country? Would you say up until this point, greatest moment of your career, what happened that night in early May, winning in front of your people? I mean, it was just amazing watching it and the reception that you got. Is that fair to say, even though you didn't win a title that night or any kind of tournament, was that the greatest night of your fighting career?
Yeah, but I don't think you can you can top. I mean, I've had so many great nights in my career, right? The K1 championship was definitely one high. The Strikeforce championship was a high. Even my first championship that I won in that same arena where I fought versus Arlovski, I won my first world title, 12 to handle. People probably don't remember that promotion, but at the time it was kind of like big, kind of like, like a ONE FC is today. They had a budget to bring in fighters from all over the world, and it was home, and it was my first world championship, light heavyweight. I was super proud. So, there's been so many highs. I mean, the K1 fight versus Button versus Peter Arts, of course, me versus Saki, me versus Tyrone Spong. These are all killers, and we did tremendously good against them. And it's another peak now. I think this victory coming up September 10 will be the biggest one.
Yeah.
And that's also the reason why I've been so dedicated. The last 2.5 years, I truly dedicated my life and all my actions into achieving the most, being the best I can be, and very proud of what we have achieved. And not only me, but also the team, the coaches here, the people in Albuquerque, the sparring partners. We're coming September 10.
Oh yes, I can't wait. A month away. Now, is it fair, because you were supposed to get the title shot a few years back, it didn't happen. Is it almost better now because you can appreciate it more because you've been through so much, the injuries, you had ups and downs, you're coming off a high? Like, do you feel like you're more mature now to the point where, wow, I know how big this is, how hard it is to get here, what I had to do, what I had to sacrifice? Like, do you feel like you appreciate this journey a little more to the belt?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I think so. And I also think that, it's sometimes you have to take a step back or maybe even 2 steps back to come back harder. It shows the true character. And, that's also a little bit of life. In life, you're going to have your downs. You got to reshuffle the deck. But I think that I've proven, if you're willing to work hard, if you're positive, if you surround yourself with good people, you're going to turn out just fine.
Yeah, because I know you were pretty close to what you thought your career was over not that long ago, right?
I had an injury when I fought the Bigfoot fight.
Yeah,
I went into that fight, but obviously, the whole world was watching, et cetera, et cetera. So and the injury was kind of like weird. It was lower back. You can't see anything. I can just walk. I can do everything, but I can't tie my own shoelaces. So it's an injury that, the physical therapist at the time didn't really know what it was. So it's like a little bit of a weird thing. And then that fight went like a disaster, lost the fight. But then, after the injury got a little bit worse. And then I seriously thought, hey, this could be the end of my career. What am I going to do after my fighting career? So, but, I worked hard. I flew back to Holland. I did my physical therapy with the team there. They're really good. They got acupuncture and orthomanual therapy. They don't have that here in the States, but they kind of manipulate your bones and your joints. And I recovered. It was a long road to recovery. It took like 6 months from pretty severe to like normal. And it was right exactly on the Travis fight. But in that period, there was a lot of uncertainty because you think your career is done. And of course, you don't want to take surgery because surgery is never good. Right, fusing your vertebrae together, this or that.
Right.
But that's why, very happy I made that decision back then. Go back to Holland, fix my body, rest my body, and and basically after the Travis fight, after that it was all positive.
Around a month ago, we thought, wow, Overeem wins the belt. His first title defense could very well be against Brock Lesnar, who returned and looked great. Now, obviously, that doesn't look like it's going to happen. If you don't mind me asking, what's your take on this whole Brock Lesnar situation?
I don't have much information about it. I'm getting my news from the headlines. So apparently failed an in-competition test. Well, yeah.
And out of competition. 2 tests.
Okay, in and out, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm the right guy to ask.
Okay, fair enough.
I think, justice will be served to him. He's got to answer to the USADA and to the Nevada Athletic State Commission. I never thought he would come back in the first place in the UFC. And he made the comeback, and apparently it's going to be his last because I definitely don't see him coming back after this fiasco.
When you were watching that fight, though, did you think, "Oh, wow, he looks amazing. This could be my chance to fight him again"? Were you thinking that at all?
I was thinking that it's been 4 years that I fought with him.
Yeah.
4.5, and he looked better now than he did 4.5 years ago when we fought.
Yeah.
That was my first initial fight when I saw him. I mean, he did good. He didn't do spectacular, but he did good. He did good against Mark, because I fought Mark too in 2008. Beat him by an armbar, but that was seriously the strongest guy I ever felt. And he was just manhandling him, taking him down at will, and just controlling him. So that was a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah. And of course, now we'll see what happens to him. By the way, I wanted to ask you, I know you had a very good relationship with Lorenzo Fertitta. Are you sad that he is leaving the company, that he sold the company?
No, I mean, things happen, right? I had a good relationship with Lorenzo. I think I have a good relationship with Dana, too. It's going to be a little bit different, I guess, but it's going to be a mystery for everybody. Nobody really knows how it's going to continue, but the UFC has done great business in the past, and there's no reason to wonder to question if they're going to do it in the future. If they're going to make their good decisions, and as long as you perform and you do your best, it's all going to be fun.
Yeah, but I always kind of felt, and maybe I'm wrong, that you and Lorenzo were like, that he was a big fan of yours. He worked very hard to get you in the company. I don't know. I always kind of felt like you were a Lorenzo guy. Maybe I'm wrong. Am I wrong?
What makes you think that, then?
I don't know. I just kind of felt like he really liked you. He appreciated you. He always spoke very highly of you. Yeah. He was very excited. When you signed the contract, you were with Lorenzo, right? The initial contract?
Yeah, I was. I agree with that. I agree with your thoughts.
Oh, all right. Well, that's good to hear. Okay, so let's wrap this up.
Yeah, you're always doing your
What are you
thing.
talking about?
Right.
What are you talking about? I mean, it's just an observation. That's all. That's all.
No, but okay.
Okay. Let's. Okay, I know you have to go, so I'll wrap this up.
It seems like you don't know what to ask, Aaron. Come on.
No, I definitely know what to ask. I was waiting for your response. How do you envision the fight ending on September 10th?
2 or 3 rounds, knockout.
2 or 3 rounds. How do you feel about sharing the bill with CM Punk? Are you excited about that?
Yeah, I'm curious how he's going to do, of course. But I think he's in for a hard time.
You're not confident.
I don't know who he's matched against, but this is definitely different than pro wrestling, especially in his weight class. He's a welterweight, I believe. Those guys are tough, man, and he's going to experience it firsthand. And you know what the thing is, too? If he does bad, the whole world is going to be on top of him. If he does good, the next guy will be in line for him, and the next guy is going to just keep on coming.
Right.
There's so many good guys in the welterweight. So that's definitely somebody I wouldn't want to be right now.
Are you kind of happy he's on the card? Like it gives a little more attention to the card? Or are you one of those traditional fighters who doesn't really like the idea that he got into the UFC right away?
No. Listen, I love the idea he got in the UFC because I love tests. And he is about to test himself. And, I'm going to have extra respect for him if he keeps on going. If he wins, even if he loses. If he keeps on going and he wins in the end, I'm going to have extra respect for him. But now we're going to see what he's made of. Now we're going to see the true character. Because, everybody wants to be a fighter right until they get hit, until they get their face broken.
Yeah.
So we're going to see what's going to happen. And there's going to, all these guys are lined up. They all want to break him. They all want to break him mentally, physically. And it's not going to be fun for him. He's a hunted prey. Why? Because he's a big name, because he's a big money fight. So he's going to be the hunted. And it's going to be a lot of respect if he's going to be able to hold up and stand his ground and become victorious. And I'll be watching that fight definitely. And again, I like people who take challenges. That's how I went into the K1. Mm-hmm. Went in there. I'm an MMA guy. You go in there, best, and we're going to see what's going to happen. either going to be, and to come back on that, I went into K1. I lost a couple of fights. I remember my first big K1 fight was in 2001 in Holland. I fought A class. I was not A class. I was like C class, maybe B. And that guy destroyed me with low kicks. Oh, my God. And it was like 7,000 people in the arena. That time pretty big. And it was embarrassing because you're getting your ass kicked, mentally too. But at that moment in 2001, nobody ever thought I would win the K1 9 years later. So it's also about character. It's also about perseverance, and it's a test. And we'll see. We're going to see what happens with the pro wrestler.
I know this might be a stupid question, but I'll ask anyway. Is there going to be a ream leading up to this title fight? I would assume yes, right? It's got to be.
Of course.
All right. When's the first one coming out?
Well, we're actually discussing with the team right now because it's like there's not been many episodes, right?
Yeah.
I was actually just realizing that the other day. We've had like one episode a year. It's like nothing. So we're going to overhaul it. We're going to do more episodes.
Okay.
And so I can't give you an answer on that right now when the first ream will be, but it's not going to take too long, of course. In any way, one or two before the fight, and then after the fight, we're going to pick it up.
Okay.
Higher pace.
Two last quick things. What's the vibe like at the gym with John? Have you been able to train with him? Is he around these days after what happened to him last month?
Yeah, he's positive. He's training. He's helped me in my camp. I really like that guy. He's humble. He's nice. I know he has that other side too, but I appreciate it for what he's doing to me. He's helping me in my camp and being a positive in the gym.
Okay.
So I don't know anything about his case. Can't say anything about that. But he's in the gym and he's training, and he's looking forward to come back. I know that he's very hungry to come back in the octagon.
And last thing, I asked Tyron Woodley this question a couple of weeks ago before his fight against Robbie Lawler. I love to ask people this before their first UFC title fight, and I'm curious about you, considering your road, considering all the belts that you've won, all the high moments you've had in your career. Have you allowed yourself to dream about, to envision what it will feel like when they put the belt around your waist? Do you think about that sort of thing as you prepare? Do you use that as motivation?
No, it's not part of my motivation. Not part of it, but of course you think about those moments sometimes, and it gives you butterflies in your stomach. But you gotta. What I'm mostly doing now is focusing on what I need to do, and that's the workouts, that's techniques, the trainings. Getting the sparring partners in, getting all the details right. I'm very involved in my own training camp. And of course, you're doing this for that one moment. You envision it, but don't dream too much because there's work to do.
Yeah, well said. Great catching up with you, Alistair. Thank you very much for the time. Thanks for squeezing us in today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Okay, great to talk to you.
I'll talk to you later.
Yes.
I'm gonna run.
Okay, take care.
Ciao.
All right, there he is, Alistair Overeem. He has to run, and I understand that. We'll speak later.